Welcome back to Down with the Get Down. It's your boy Robel.
And your boy Derek. I don't know that nigga's name either, but I think he works with Dr. Dre. I'm not sure.
All right, you see us. We got that shit on. And all right, guys, we are playing GTA 5 again. We are coming through with another round of topics, this time. And on today's plate, we are. I was just talking recently, talking to Haven about this, and we were just we got into a. She just came out of nowhere and was like, "Did you hear about the They moved up the retirement age to 70?" And I literally had just seen that on TikTok talking about the government raised the legal age from, I think it was 65 beforehand, and now it's 70. So they added 5 years to our retirement to when we can.
Yeah, I think, well, that's like normal retirement because some people can retire before that.
Yeah,
But
some people go to that, but it's like, I guess it's like for you to officially. I mean, you can retire yourself
I
early
think
if you make enough money, but like
I
to
think it's if the
qualify.
normal working person,
Hmm.
the normal working person is 70, which part of it makes sense because people live longer now. But the other part of it that doesn't make sense is everything that we have currently costs too much. And the other thing, the other reason why it doesn't make sense too is because yeah, because like I heard somebody's argument was like, I think it was the TikTok video that you sent me,
Hmm.
where he was like, people are living longer, and like, yeah, that is true, people are living longer, but people's mental health is also a lot worse, and the unaliving rate of people is much higher now too. So there are a lot of people that aren't even going to reach that age.
Folks are funny. They're like, we not. It was like, it's all you raised to 70. They ain't got nothing to do with me.
I'll end my life right now.
I start working. I mean, just like that, I'll break my freaking golf club in half.
Because like the thing too, like with so many people becoming famous and all the different ways of like making a whole bunch of money now.
Hmm.
That's also the other reason why I'm just like, yeah, like I guess if you apply yourself enough, I guess like there's a lot of people that just wouldn't care about the age of it changing
Hmm.
because there's so many people that are becoming like rich like younger due to social media and stuff like that. So like they can retire at like 30.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Why I gotta give a fuck about a 70?
it's the working people. I guess it's a good thing that the people who are the social media influencers have a voice to represent that. Because a lot of these folks don't even realize. I didn't even realize I was driving for a second.
Yeah, we gotta like bump into these people.
She over here laughing at me. Bro, I didn't know what just happened. I rammed the golf carts. All right.
Yeah, we gotta ram the other guy.
But yeah, as far as that, it made me forget what I was about to say.
We were talking about the social media and people with like speaking out against stuff like that with like social media and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, because they're able to represent the working class people, like you said, because that does affect them, the everyday person, because that's majority of America. Majority of America, all the like the social media people, yeah, it makes it easier for people to make change in different ways now, but that's still not going to represent the majority, because the majority is still not going to even do that.
I mean, yeah. Also, you don't have to hit him anymore, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it. It says tail on now.
Okay.
It told me to
Okay, just
ram him
making
at
sure.
first, and then right after that it said tail. I was trying to maneuver.
Yeah, you good. But yeah, I mean, with the age and everything changing, I mean, hopefully, for us, like we wouldn't have to worry about that because, I want us to be as successful as possible with this sort of thing where we don't have to worry about that shit. We
It's
can
facts.
we can retire at 30 if we want to. Well, we're not going to retire at 30, but retire like, 40.
I mean, that'd be fantastic if we could, if like the ideal thing would be to have enough money to be able to retire yourself to where you're not feeling like you have to go into work. Like shit just runs itself, or you just have enough to the point where you're like, all right, cool, I can casually do this. Like you know how Corey Kenshin just decides to just disappear,
Yeah, like
and it just never come
that's
back.
another thing. Because like or like get to the point where like even if we're somehow doing this at 70, it
Hmm.
just doesn't feel like work.
Well, not even that. It was like we'll be able to. You're doing this full time, so where like you're not even worried about. So you're worried whatever you're trying to do. We're talking about us, but whatever you're trying. Jesus, that I had to drift. I had to
It's
drift
because
to
the thing
stop.
it's because the thing was about to go into a cutscene, and I think that's what happened. But yeah,
I'm dead.
can I hit him yet?
Oh,
Did you just hit somebody?
I just hit Franklin.
Oh,
This is wait for the leader to intimidate the golfer. Oh God, this is wait while you just beat this dude.
and see that people, that is what it feels like to try to retire at 70. That's what the government's doing to you.
Just beating you up.
beating beating you up with a golf club while they go do whatever they want, which made a lot of sense in that one video when they were talking
Mm,
about like like how there are some people within government that serve like a lifetime.
mm.
Like they don't have to because like they're secured and they can just serve a lifetime and barely be like conscious. Like that one dude that they had and he was just like staring into space because he's so old and doesn't know where he's at.
That dude like a skeleton, bro. Look like an animatronic.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
dude
shit
looked
was
like he wasn't
scary,
even alive.
bro.
Yeah,
That was so scary.
and those
I
are the
was,
people that are helping run our government that probably raised the retirement age to 70.
folks out here, vampires, real deal. They just older than what we thought they were.
Nigga's a prune, a living prune.
Mm-mm-mm. Supposed to be living off virgin breast milk. But how does that work? We don't know.
Basically.
But that's crazy. It kind of going into that. I don't know if you've seen it, but I was watching the thing about. I was having a conversation about taxes, and then it got deeper, and from taxation being like kind of like a cycle. It's kind of like you're always just revolving the same amount of money. Basically, like how we're always revolving the same amount of water. It just gets cleaned off like this, but it's still the same water we've been drinking for millions of years.
Yeah.
It's like kind of similar to that with money. It's like, bro, we like I was talking to Haven. I was like, the USA is already in debt. We're just moving around debt. Nobody. I was like, at that point, money doesn't really necessarily have a value until you put a value on it.
Yeah, which the weird thing about that is like we don't even though we have debt,
Hmm.
you can't print more money because for some reason it diminishes value, which also I think is actually stupid. But
Hmm.
uh, like it's just weird that that's a thing, and because that's a thing, we just can't get out of debt, and because our country is in debt, that makes them have to tax us more because they're stupid.
I mean, we could all shake hands one day and just be like, you know what? You're debt free. You're debt free. You don't owe. You don't have to owe me nothing. You don't have to owe me anything because in reality, all the shit is made up. It's it's like yeah, it's like from a systematic standpoint, but the system used to be a bartering system until somebody was like, "Hey, I just decided to flatten this piece of paper and color it and turn and make it, or I got a couple coins that are shiny, so it makes me more important than you."
I mean, sure, like I didn't mean to call you,
Mm,
um, because you're not in my thing anymore, so I'm gonna invite you. But
all right.
uh, how the hell did I do that? Oh, this one. Um, yeah, I mean, like money has the value that we bring it because most things within our life are socially constructed things
Hmm.
that society has made. I mean, yeah, we can live in a system where like we don't have to pay for anything, but at the same time, that system would also slick be terrible.
It would
Um,
crash because we wouldn't get any fancy things. The motivation wouldn't be there. A lot of people, a
yeah,
lot of
because
this nice stuff
that's
that we
like
have
the
is motivated by money.
yeah, because that's like the issue that a lot of people have with like free healthcare because like
Hmm.
yeah, there are different countries and stuff like that have free healthcare, but their healthcare isn't as good as ours. Like yeah, you can get things for free, but you also get the bare minimum. So you might die, and there are also certain things like I think it might have been the UK or something like that, where there was a kid that was going to die from whatever reason, um, and needed to be treated in America, and then they weren't going to allow it to happen due to because of like the free healthcare stuff,
Hmm.
and they were like, yeah, you're just basically gonna have to have your kid stay here, and they're like, if our kid stays here, our kid's gonna die, and they're like, dang, that sucks. Oh, looks like you can't move. So I think they have to like illegally come here. Uh, I mean, technically legally for them, but like illegally for like the UK,
Right.
um, so that they can get their child the health care that was needed. Because there are some things that even if there's free healthcare, that aren't covered under free healthcare.
Yeah, it's like you can only do so. It's like saying the word.
I'll
It's
come.
like
I'm gonna come get you, by the way.
okay. I was like, it's an enticing thing. That it's an enticing offer. But I was driving to your office actually.
That's not the place that I'm at.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll stay where I'm at.
I'm at my agency, not my office.
Mm.
But yeah, like there are multiple things that like no matter how much we want to say like yeah, money is just a meaningless thing and we should be able to live without, whatever. The majority of our society wouldn't run correctly if we ran that way.
It'll be have to be a whole like meeting of the
And the only
presses, and then it's too many people in the world for everybody to sit here and have a big ass meeting that of agreements.
yeah, I mean like you're never going to have a meeting that like everybody's going to agree to something.
Hmm.
Which is fine, it is what it is.
That's why
But
we have world
also,
powers.
I mean yeah, I mean they kind of suck at their job too, but whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, but I say that's on hell. That's the only thing that we've been able to cook up so far to actually be able to get answered,
I
even
mean,
though it
sure,
still
but I
is
mean, like
shitty.
even the, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like even like the United Nations thinks that world hunger isn't like a problem. So, I mean, what, what, what do we really like have? Because this is like the United Nations. So like this is like
Folks say get your
everybody.
bread up. That's crazy.
They're basically like, I mean, if you're hungry, go eat.
Like they do have a fundamental thing because I was like that's low key funny, but it's like we created a system that has created a lot of disadvantages to like if we were to go back to survival, a lot of us wouldn't be able to do that. But
I mean, sure.
it's like a lot of us will like be like, oh dang, we're so used to the system now that we couldn't do that. But if you see, as inflation goes up, it does make you fear that the common person is gonna become the homeless person.
I mean, yeah, and like the issue that I really have,
Hmm.
like, yeah, we can complain about, like there are a whole bunch of things that like within this country that we complain about that are absolutely stupid. Because like Americans complain about other places that don't really affect them. Like I'm not gonna make it like a whole like Israel Palestine thing, but like I don't care. So
Hmm.
like like all the people that are like, oh, free this, free that, justice for them, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, free free taxes. Like, let's not have taxes as high as they are. Free
It's
the
not.
economy.
There's no
You
taxes in
know,
general. Just halt that shit. Stop it.
like let's actually care about stuff that happens here versus happens there. And like, our government, like obviously, right, I will say like the flames in Hawaii was a serious thing.
Hmm.
Don't want people to burn. But even that, they didn't put a lot of money into. I believe they put more money into like sending it, overseas to like the Palestine Israel thing than like
Hmm.
the people that literally that lives on an island that's on fire. like, like I get it. Like I get you want to send money to them, but at the same time, like I think Hawaii is a little bit more important because they're on a fucking island. Like they can't go anywhere.
It's like America needs to just act like Wakanda for just maybe a couple years. Just
because I mean,
just
like
act like
the big
Wakanda. Just keep everything like in house. Just try to fix everything you going on before you start trying to be Captain Save everybody else.
yeah, because like my biggest thing is um we care so much about foreign affairs and things of that nature, but yet at the same time we don't. And like I get it, people want to bring in like illegal immigrants and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I think that's dumb, but whatever. um we care so much about that shit, but yet we have literal people that live out on the streets that are homeless that we don't take care of at all.
You know why? You know why it would be too like. And ideally, that sounds fantastic, but they would probably make it way too complicated because it would start affecting businesses in the long run. Because if you okay, you shut down if the U.S. decided to just completely shut down, be like, hey, we finna bow out for a little bit, y'all chill, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all. We taking our troops back. We're taking back funds and everything. We are going to just shut everything down for a matter of like 5 to 10 years just to rebuild and come back even stronger. We hope that y'all are good, but we gotta take a mental break. We do that now. All the businesses that were trading with America will cease for those moments. Those moments, businesses that relied on international travel cease. If they tell you they had to tell you you
I
can't
want to
even
say
get out the
this though.
country for a little bit, low key.
Nah, that's not what I'm saying at all. um like my whole thing is like obviously damn.
All right.
Like trading and things like that, like that's different and like that's fine. But like what I'm talking about is, for instance, where they have certain things that are set up to where they're making like these homes and things like that for like um illegal immigrants, uh and only really they live there. Like hold on real quick, I gotta shoot this thing.
Mm.
And only really they kind of live there. Like it's not really um anybody else. And like technically, yeah, like it's cool to have them, but it also does affect our economy because they don't pay taxes because they're not documented people.
Mm.
Um, so sure, like yeah, you can say these people should come in and that's fine. But oh, I think I set the thing off. That sucks. I
What you
didn't
set
have a
off?
silence thing. I think I set off an alarm. I don't know. um, damn, I hate this hack.
Mm.
I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say because it's that one where you gotta do like the numbers.
Oh,
Fuck.
you talk about the people that were outside that undocumented.
Yeah, like it's essentially the thing that I'm saying is like if we closed our borders, right?
Mhm.
If we close our borders, that doesn't close anything else. It just closes our borders. If we close our borders and made it easier to get in legally, then people
Mhm.
would come in illegally. But the other thing that's more important is we can take the focus from getting like illegal immigrants and
Mhm.
making houses and stuff for them to making houses and things for the people that are homeless or the people that are veterans, because like the VA isn't that great. There are a lot of people that come in from that would come to like Lakeside from the VA because the VA would be full and people wouldn't be able to like do certain stuff. And
Mhm.
like there's so many things that like we could do better for our own people that live here that we don't because of we want to make it seem like we care so much about everybody else when that's not really the case. We just kind of
Mhm.
do things to do things. And like a lot of the time they bring people in just because it sounds nice, not necessarily because they care.
It's like you gotta take care of your own before you start trying to take care of others. It's like nobody's
Right.
saying that. Nobody's saying that we don't. Like you said, we're not caring about them. And so how can we
Y-
care when we're still struggling?
Yeah, and like it's very difficult to like look at somebody and be like, "Hey, let me take you out of this and and fix this and do this, that, and the third when my place is in fucking shambles. Like, how can I tell you to clean your room when my room looks like a fucking mess, you know?
Mm-hmm. And the mess that we've made.
Yeah, like it's a mess that we've made, and it's just
Not talking about,
you did.
I was talking about like as far as the multitude and how how big of a mess America's made over the years of
I mean,
itself.
yeah. I
So
mean,
where
yeah.
like it's a lot of cleanup and they were choosing to ignore and cover up with other things.
Yeah, and like I don't know. It's just really weird how we kind of like. Can you make a waypoint to the little question mark, by the way? Um,
Question mark.
it's just, yeah. There's like a question mark on the map. Um, I don't know. It's just weird how we care so much about like other people, but we don't care about the people that are here. It just kind of makes it feel like those people that are here, we've already given up on, and they're like a lost cause. I like, sure, some of them are like drug addicts, and they're so far gone because we didn't give a fuck about them to begin with that that's the
Hmm.
only thing that they can kind of go to. And to that, you can't necessarily blame them
I don't
fully.
actually don't have a question mark on mine. Everything that you were doing in that room, I couldn't even see.
That's fine. I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like it's fine. I can't fully blame those people because that's just kind of like the government kind of gave up on them. So
Mm-hmm.
like they just do and live like on their own. And even like, like there are a lot of people that because they can't work or because people view things in a particular way, it makes it very difficult for them to find work because if you want to work somewhere, you gotta, have a car, a place to actually take a shower, clothes, money, all of these different things that you won't get just if you're fucking homeless. Because we saw that in what we saw how difficult that stuff is in what's it called, Pursuit of Happiness,
Mm-hmm.
where if there were systems that actually good systems that were set in place, um, then maybe there would be more people that would be actually able to work and change their life around, which, hey, government would also give us more money. But yet we just kind of gave up on these people, and we basically like, we'll be all right.
It's too much. It's too much to focus on. It makes too much sense to focus on the
Focus on
small
other
things.
people. Focus, focus on the homeless. That doesn't raise our approval ratings.
It's like that doesn't matter. But it's like, but succeeding in humanity is not what matters nowadays. When we have a planet that's slowly dying, and it's when we already know that they've been screaming at us about stuff like that over the years that we know our focus is not on humanity. 'Cause that's when humanity's biggest threat is not even focused on, then homeless is definitely not getting focused on.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. But I'm just saying, you know, like it should be a much bigger focus because that's just my opinion. But it should just be a much bigger focus
No, I
because
agree with you
I think
100%.
that I think that once you fix things in one aspect and like we fix the stuff that's happening here, it makes it a lot easier to fix other things everywhere else. Because yeah, like niggas are out here homeless on out on the streets. Yeah, if I'm like coming here for a better life, even if I come here illegally, why am I sitting next to a homeless person?
And we do have, but we do also do have we got to take into account the
Where the fuck
it's
is the
like
slowdown?
while there is a lot of homeless people for their unfortunate circumstances, there are a lot of people who choose to be in situations, and their homeless population is just added because a lot of people just be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Sure,
This
but
whole working thing is not for me. And like you have like people like say a lot of people in California are situations like that. You went there for a reason. You went there to go make it, but you can really go home, but it's just like
I mean,
but you're
sure.
just choosing not to.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I mean, the majority
Mhm.
of homeless people aren't that, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
get that.
I know not the
Uh,
majority. I was saying that's when you have those cloud over. It gets into the politics of it to where you know where you look at you despise. You have people that look down upon those things because then you're like, okay, you have a lot more sympathy for homeless people. Me personally, I don't have as much as you do. But it's like, but in the, like, but that's a lot. There are people who are worse than me, who are dickheads about it. And so when
I'm
you
sure.
have, but when those people are the ones that are in charge of promoting and or like spreading their influence, and you have people who genuinely who are like, not from my standpoint, where I'm like, I don't hate
Fuck.
homeless people. I have more of like a I'm like there are a lot of options, and if I feel like you're not taking those options, if I don't know you personally, I can't judge you, but I'm like, I help when it comes to organizations and stuff like that. But when I see you in the same type of spots, I be like, what's happening? I'd be like, but I guess it's because I can't see myself in those positions, so it's hard for me to put myself in that position to be like I can't give up on myself. But other people take it to a deeper despise, a hate of it, and then be like, you're just a waste of space.
I mean, that's because a lot of people lack a certain amount of empathy for the homeless.
Hmm.
And like I get it, right? Like
Hmm.
you see somebody and you're like, I would never put myself in a situation where I'm homeless. But at the same time, nobody lives the same life. So
Yeah, that's why I
like
say I know.
the
That's why I'm more
like there are a
understandable because I
lot of
know drugs, circumstances,
yeah,
life
and
hits. People can get divorces, take all your shit. You just
right,
like
and
you never
like
know.
my empathy for the homeless is greater than yours only because I worked at Lakeside.
Hmm.
So like if I didn't work at Lakeside, I probably wouldn't think about the homeless people the way that I do. Like I've always cared about homeless people, but at the same time, like it's one of those things where you see them and you're just like, dang, that fucking sucks. Gonna move on with
Hmm.
my life now. You know, it's not like a I wish we could do different things to actually help you. And because of working at Lakeside and seeing so many homeless people and like understanding that like there's a shit ton of like the majority of people that are homeless are just mentally fucked up in the head. So like because they're mentally messed up,
Hmm.
they don't have anybody to help them. And like for instance, the issue that I had with like there's a lot of mental health facilities that don't have sponsors, right? So like yeah, if you're an alcoholic, you'll have a sponsor if you go to like AA and stuff like that
Hmm.
to help you in your sobriety. But there aren't really any people to help somebody with their mental health apart from you paying for it. But if you're homeless, you don't have a sponsor. You don't have money. So what's going to happen to you is one of two things. You're either going to want money, so you're going to sell the drugs that they give you to help your mental health,
Hmm.
or you're going to sell that for drugs that are going to harshly affect your mental health even more because you don't have a system or people to actually help you, you know?
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of people that just go through different things of like drugs or like certain people that are injured and they just can't afford to pay for healthcare and things of that nature because of, you know, whatever reasons.
Hmm.
Or people give up on them or people get kicked out for a slew of different reasons and they can just never bounce back from it. Um, which is like what I said before. Like, if you don't have a car or a meaningful way of transportation, that's one thing that goes against you in trying to get a job. If you don't have a way to take a shower, that's another thing against you. So, like, there are
Hmm.
different things that some people can do, but at a certain point, some people that get to a certain state of like despair can't fully think about all of the other things that other people can because you have the luxury of not being homeless.
Hmm.
But if you're living in that experience, you're just like, there are so many things that go on throughout the day, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't like fucking die.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot
And
of
you're
factors.
sitting right, and we're sitting, you know, at home like, well, you can do this, and you can do that, and you can do this and that and that, but we don't have to worry about where we're gonna lay our heads at tonight, you know?
A lot of them don't even know the. A lot of them don't know the options. I feel like as well. Like when you see, like when I see a lot of them, like the ones I consistently see on the corner, I'm like,
Hmm.
bro, you could go to. Well, I'm like, where is the dearest shelter? But then I remember talking Haven. Haven's like some of the shelters get overfilled, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, like a lot of the shelters and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's why so many people like would go to Lakeside at certain times and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
during during Christmas and things of that nature, like some of the shelters would get so full that they just had to act crazy so that they can find a place to sleep tonight, because if they didn't, they would freeze to death, you know? So
Hmm.
like there, because we, and that's the reason that I was saying, like, we should, instead of focusing on um, uh, people coming here, we should, and making stuff for the people that don't already live here, we should focus on making things for the people that do live here, so that, we won't have to necessarily worry about that sort of thing.
It's
Um,
it's interesting that when you bring the way you speak in the tone of how your cadence about homeless people. And it's crazy that homeless people used to be the butt of the joke a lot of times. Like a lot of times, like in media, a lot of times in just society in general, they were the butt of the joke. They were a joke. If you were homeless, it was kind of like you'll see the goofy dude in whatever movie, or the or you'll be scared of homeless people in general. Because I know growing up, I all like that was like as a kid for some reason, homeless people was it was an eerie thing when you were around. You felt like okay, you weren't safe if you were
Damn.
by yourself. Damn, that was wild. But like, but like it was
Yeah,
kind of
like
like I was like, yeah, it's
and that
like
makes
clutch your
sense
pearls
too,
or whatever. Like
because
it's like you clutch, it's like oh, you see him, you clutch your purse, you get you're like I'm on the side of the road or whatever. You with your parents or whatever, and they kind of have that look on their face of don't stare.
yeah, and but that mostly comes from the fact that we looked at homeless people as crazy,
Hmm.
because a
And now
lot of
we're
the
on
times
this, and
when,
now it's a different time.
I mean, it's not, it's a different time, but people still think the same way. A lot of people don't understand that there are a lot of homeless people that have mental health issues. But, I would never really know that until I worked at Lakeside, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would just see somebody that's homeless is like, you know, that might be a possibility that some of them are that way, but it wouldn't be a thought to me that a lot of them are like that, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, like, mental health is like one of the biggest like things as to why people are where they are. Uh, and like, yeah, they wear the butt of the jokes because it's easy to punch down,
Hmm.
and it's like, black people used to be the butt of the joke because it was easy to punch down on us. And then once
Hmm.
we're not at that level anymore, the next person on the totem pole is definitely going to be a homeless person, because what can they do? Nothing.
Yep. And then like yeah, it's like it's a crazy thing how strong mental health is. I feel like it's a double edged sword with mental health because you can go far with saying it as saying like, oh, and this could put you where your situation is, and then it's a lot of times where it can be used as an excuse. And I think that's the hard that's where you gotta tiptoe around that because a lot of different communities tend to use mental health as a reason for why they do a lot of things. And then if we give a pass to a lot of to whatever group it is like, is it a pass or is it realistic? How much like how
Yeah, I
many
mean,
like how and it's the few bad eggs that, or it's like, is it a few bad eggs or is it really, or is it more bad eggs? It's like what's like which is that's what's messing it up when it comes to, I guess, the algorithm.
of like, yeah, because I mean, like, a lot, so like, because like a lot of black people suffer from like mental health, right? And
Hmm.
a lot of it comes from the fact that, like, for a long time, we didn't take it very seriously,
Hmm.
because they're just like, I don't want anything to be wrong with us. I'm just gonna ignore this. Oh, he's just a little messed up, he's okay.
Hmm.
No, he needs actual help. But there's a lot of black people that, for no real reason, um, they just kind of say, "Oh, mental health is my issue," when that's not actually the case.
Hmm.
Um, and it happens a lot. It happens with every group, but it does happen a lot within our community, because there are so many different things that have happened to our community. It's a lot easier for people to lie about there being a specific problem with their mental health because of those reasons.
I think people like to relate a lot as well. So it's like if you, especially in the black community, a lot of us want to have a lot of experience. Nobody wants to have your black heart removed. Nobody wants to be the outside black person. If you went through trauma as a black person, 9 times out of 10, the person next to you may have seen the same trauma. If you dealt with racism, then the next black person definitely had to deal with some type of racism. So you gotta. It's like so you feeling that. So when somebody you see a video or you see content about if you as a black person grew up and your parents were like this, then you weren't able to express your emotions because your dad was overly like this, or your mom told you to man up at an early age, and white folks don't have to deal with stuff like that. Then it's like I do feel like, yeah, it does fuck with the psyche. Fuck with,
I mean, yeah, but a lot of that, like, for example, right? There
mm-hmm,
are some people that have gone through that, right?
mm-hmm,
But are perfectly fine. And they're like, yeah, my parents were like that, and I
mm-hmm,
was, and like they'll be like, yeah, my dad told me to man up or whatever at a young age, and so I did that, and
mm-hmm.
it positively affected me, and so yeah. And then you'll have another person like, my dad told me that, and it negatively affected me, and because your dad said that to you, you're traumatized, and you're like, nah, I think I'm okay. It's like, nah, you're definitely traumatized. I guess I am traumatized then.
It sounds like a science experiment. It's like, all right, cool. So you had 10 students go through this same type of experience, and they and then a few of them were like, "I'm traumatized." Like three of them said, "I'm traumatized," and the other rest of them were like, "We're good." But the three of them were too loud. They were so loud, and then decided to make social media posts and decided to make a movement, and it
Yeah,
became what
I
it
mean
was.
that happens a lot with a lot of people, where there's so many things that will happen, and just because it happens to you, even if it happened to another person, that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, now I'm traumatized too. It's
Hmm.
just a simple, hey, this happened to you. This also happened to me. Huh. I guess we might live similar lives, but it might, because people are affected by things completely different. But
Hmm.
there's so many, like what you said, like there's so many black people that want to be like, I'm just like you. I'm not different at all. I
I'm
am
just.
also a black person suffering. Ah,
It's like we want to be different so bad, but then when we want to be different so bad.
we want to be different, but we're so much the same at this. Like, there's so many that want to be the exact same as well.
Hmm. We
And
all want to
like,
relate and then be stand out at the same time. Can't have both.
right. And like I said, like I've never gave a fuck about that. Like, if you want to, pretend like you all have the same experience, hey, go ahead and do that. I more than likely did not. I don't have the mental health problems that you guys have because I'm better than you. Um,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
so simple as that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's weird. Like, I also can't ever, as you know, like it's very difficult for me to see people like play a victim that clearly are not victims.
I just realized I think that you need to make me an associate again because I'm not seeing any of your mission stuff. I just been following you
Oh,
around.
oh, okay, I got you.
Hmm. But yeah, I about to say that we have hit our top of the minute mark. About to say if there's anything else you wanted to go into. This one ran a little bit longer than expected as well.
It did. Yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say. I mean, the government doesn't care about you.
I'm dead. Government doesn't care about you, so that means that the government shouldn't be the example, guys. At least in my opinion, government should be example. You know right from wrong. You feel like you want to do things differently, just act upon it yourself. Don't wait to be told.
Yeah, get rich quick.
Get rich
Go
quick, sell drugs, get this
go into
money by
Bitcoin,
tomorrow.
go into Bitcoin or some shit. I don't know.
Something. Get this money by tomorrow. Appreciate y'all coming through for another install. This man just died. The hell?
Yeah, you got to come to the front.
All right. Good. I didn't know what was going on. But yep, appreciate y'all coming through for another installment and down with the get down. If you guys have any comments on what we should play next or any topics that you guys are discover wanted to get into like this one or anything else because I really we do feel like I really get into these a lot more than we thought we were. So go ahead and do all those things and like, share.
Down with the get down.